Coming at you from the left on your dial. It's big time in the Dirty Dirty. I am the big time, and with me as always is the Dirty Dirty. Tell you how you doing, Dirty Dirty.
Yeah.
That's right, don't do them dirty dirty just because they call them dirty dirty, and don't call us sleazy just because we in the Big Easy. Coming up next after the break, it's Buried Alive by Senses Fail. And I'll tell you one thing my senses have failed to do for me, and that is give me any reason at all not to really f***ing love this band. Join us after the break.
What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast. This is my favorite character I've ever played.
It does not ask a ton of, which is good.
Which you can't expect a ton from me, so it is the perfect role.
Oh, I disagree. Nice little Adobe update on the computer as we right after we hit record. Computer was fully on and open for like half an hour.
Perfect.
What's up, man?
Well, this is the first time we've recorded in 2 months. Is that right?
Yeah, you're a pop.
Yeah, I'm officially a dad now.
Congrats.
I have changed my shirt 3 times today because there keep getting spit up all over it. So that's my life now. But
nice.
Yeah, crazy. But I'm here to get real emo because, I don't know, lots of crying in this house lately. So, and not just from the baby.
It's a very emo episode this week.
Yeah.
Dare I say, lots of Tell All Your Friends parallels to
Whoa.
this particular Senses Fail album. That's right. The pop punk dorks from across the mosh pit are coming on over and hanging out in your neck of the woods, everybody. Demanded by several on Twitter. Not demanded, but there was like a polite asking process for most of you. I think it's no secret. A lot of you have been dropping Used is better than MCR. Please give us Senses Fail stuff. I think the Used and Senses Fail are 2 bands that have deserved recognition much sooner than they're getting. But we're doing Senses Fail today, specifically the very emo, very daytime drama, very delightful, dare I say, emo masterpiece music video for Buried Alive. Thoughts, Tom, on that statement in general? Just, I was very blown away and taken by the concept of a type of music called emotional,
Right.
paired with a daytime drama. And I'm shocked that there aren't many more examples of this.
Yeah, the whole genre of emo itself. I remember when I first heard that it stood for emotional. I was like, oh my God, am I allowed to like this? Are people going to make fun of me? There's so much public perception tied up in emo itself. And I feel like, so I'm just going to come out right out of the gate saying I didn't really know Senses Fail that much. I had 3 of their singles because that's all LimeWire gave me at the time. But I really loved those singles. I just didn't really have any friends that listened to them. So I'm not the biggest connoisseur of Senses Fail. I don't even know if comparing them to Taking Back Sunday is sacrilege. So I don't know. Maybe we just apologize quickly.
We'll get to it. He talks about women's makeup, lipstick, things like that on the album. I went through it a few times in preparation. Tell All Your Friends was 02-ish, 03-ish. This is more 03-ish, 04-ish, depending on whether you're talking about the release of the video or the song or the album, etc. We'll get into some of the fast facts later. But I think regionally, I don't know if it was brand new, Taking Back Sunday and that Staten Island type thing.
Right,
they were from northern New Jersey, kind of the New York greater extended area. Give me something the kids will cry for, Dr. Hot Topic would say from his tower overlooking Manhattan. I'm just floating out gently, not to mention the mic swinging in the video, which we'll get to later. All I'm saying is that there are some parallels to,
more than a
Dr.
few.
Hot Topic ordering up a Tell All Your Friends Thursday lookalike type situation. But that does not take away anything from Senses Fail, who this is an exploratory mission for both of us. I think we want to be upfront about that. I wanted to go through a quick scenario with you, if you don't mind me just going off on a tangent here for a moment.
Sure.
Okay, 7th grade, right? There's 2 7th grade people that enter the facilities at Iroquois Junior Senior High School. There's a varsity football game being played. One of them is wearing very light blue jeans and a tee, and the hair is a sensible length. And then there's another kid with dark blue jeans, black fat tongue skater shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Black tee, black zip up
Oh.
with no logos on it, and the hair down to the shoulders. And that person's more handsome than the other guy. One of them just got done listening to Young and the Hopeless by Good Charlotte for 4 hours on repeat. And the other is very into Census Fail. And I am not the Census Fail fan in this scenario. I guess is basically what I'm trying to say. I always pictured them as like kind of cooler and out of reach. I don't know if that, I'm trying to frame it, I guess. Like basically my buddy Brendan Weatherby was cooler and more handsome. And I felt like had a ticket or a pass to be into bands like Census Fail. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was not something that I felt qualified. Well, we don't feel qualified to do this show most days, so I don't think that's saying much. But yeah, it felt a little out of reach, a little too cool, a little like my hair was never quite long enough to be like, I don't know. But then listening back, it's kind of like, oh, this could have been like if somebody handed me this record instead of Tell All Your Friends.
Right.
There's another version of events that this could have been like kind of in retrospect. Any thoughts?
Well, if I knew you in 7th grade, I would have thought you were describing me for a minute. Okay.
Well, you were more of a gray, like brown DC, brown and green, more of a foresty palette with some greens and browns with the fat tone DC tones. Specifically. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking like you were never like total color black, dark blue jean.
In 6th grade. In 6th grade I was.
Gotcha.
7th grade.
Gotcha.
I was probably the saddest I've ever been in 7th grade. 8th grade when we met was a good year for me. So it was
I liked your foresty palette.
More earth tone.
I thought it was not the tones were nice. You branded yourself well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean anyone could have handed me this record instead of, I think it was Where You Want to Be at the time, and I would have loved it just as much. But again, I'm realizing through doing the show that all of the bands that I love the most now was because I loved them with someone else at the time of discovery. You know, I had 3 songs. I had Buried Alive, Calling All Cars, and Oh God, Will You Scatter My Ashes Where They Won't Be Found, whatever that song is. That was from their 2nd album, and I loved it, but there's no one to share it with, so it didn't really stick. But I'm remembering like this picture in my head. My dad let me borrow his like Yamaha keyboard, and he gave me a little music stand because I wanted to learn how to play piano. And I remember listening to this song in my mom's basement, and just like in my head, I see a little gray keyboard and a music stand with nothing on it. I don't know why I had it. Just like looking at a piano, listening to emo music, feeling things that I've never experienced. I don't know, man. They're good at putting you in a spot. Like you can feel the angst in the music, and the juxtaposition with the video was something
I would
else.
say, should we bust the angstometer out? I mean, there's a lot of like, flesh fading away, smeared lipstick and makeup and things like that.
Grave digging.
Yeah. Vials of poison. Firearms, people getting locked up.
Doctors, babe.
Doctors. Yeah, real quick. Thoughts on the phrase, let's play Dr. Babe? Or should we save that for later?
I think in any other scenario, that would be real creepy.
Well, I picture that 70s show flashback sequence to Kelso and Jackie playing doctor at like way too young, and the foreman's finding them in their basement, like, get out of here and stuff like that. But they take this into more of like a,
right.
I don't know. I guess we'll get into it when we get to the video. Should we do the fast first? I feel like I'm getting way ahead of myself
Let's
here.
do it.
So yeah, they're a post-hardcore band, Wikipedia says. They're also listed as emo and screamo, depending on the Wikipedia page you stumble upon. R.I.P. stumble upon?
Can I admit something to you right here, right now?
Please do. Oh yeah.
You're always, feeling like, oh, I'm just a poser. I'm going to show my inner poser. I've used the phrase post-hardcore, but if you asked me to tell you what post-hardcore sounded like, I wouldn't really know, because I feel like they use it to describe a plethora of different sounds. I don't know. I would say emo, screamo?
I don't think post-hardcore is correct. Depending on the track you were into off this album, I think it could go one way. I think the reason I mentioned the 3 different genres that Wikipedia has them listed as, depending if you're looking at the album page or the band's page.
Oh, okay.
Those three things mean nothing and everything at the same time. Like it's a mix of all three, probably more or less. But yeah, post-hardcore feels a little intense for what this record was anyway. Tweet at us at _reminiscent FM if you agree or disagree on that one in particular. But I don't think we are a big genre show anyway.
No. I just remember the first time someone introduced me to Norma Jean, which actually I think is the... No, not the same person that introduced me to Senses Fail. I heard Norma Jean described as post-hardcore. And I don't even know if that's accurate, but that's always been my barometer for what post-hardcore is. But that might not even be true. But genre is dead. Who gives a shit? They're from New Jersey.
I'm gonna stick to my tell all your friends parallel theory until someone disproves it and say that they're probably not post-hardcore, but it doesn't matter. They're from Ridgewood, they're from New Jersey, but they're not from a New Jersey town that Zach Braff would have driven through in the movie Garden State. This is essentially New York City from what Google Maps is suggesting to me after a brief Google sesh. Yeah, you made a note here about sleeping on just the whole Staten Island, New Jersey, New York-y early 2000s emo stuff. Like, should we have been addressing it more this whole time, or what are your thoughts there?
Well, I mean, you hear a lot about like New York City, Long Island bands, right? I mean, you have Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, Bayside, Jawbreaker, Polar Bear Club, which is, I guess, more 2010s. But New Jersey has put out some absolutely incredible bands. I'm just wondering, are we sleeping on that whole state? Because New Jersey is often a lot of, a butt of the joke, but Bouncing Souls, Man Overboard, Midtown, My Chemical Romance, didn't know they were from Jersey. Saves the Day, Gaslight Anthem, all natural lemon and lime flavors.
Whoa.
I just Googled New Jersey bands and that came up, and that's the worst band name I've ever heard. Anyways, yeah. And now I'm thinking like there should be a New Jersey versus New York bracket to see.
Interesting.
Who would take it?
Specifically emo, or are we going to do like Springsteen, Bon Jovi stuff?
No.
Gotcha.
No. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That might be fun. Not. It might be a small, smaller
Of course
bracket.
not.
Springsteen
Bon
could write a
Jovi?
hook, dude.
I think my favorite part about Rockin' the Suburbs by Ben Folds is that he kind of pokes fun at everybody, but admits Rockin' the Suburbs like Bon Jovi did, except that he was talented. So it's kind of like you, but good for you type energy.
But good for you.
Anyway, okay, moving right along. So after writing a handful of original songs, as the story goes, they were playing VFW halls, big VFW energy. Gotta love that. If there's anything we're here for on the show, it's VFW energy. Small clubs in New Jersey soon attracting a bigger fan base through online promotion, which is kind of a through line we see throughout the decade. Contacted by Drive-Thru Records, and the owners flew out to watch the band live. What a thrill that must have been, I'm sure. Anyway, Let It Unfold You wound up being the debut studio album, released through Vagrant later, who they later signed with, but really they were working with Drive-Thru for much of what seems to be like the production and recording aspect. I guess Drive-Thru rented them a house.
Jeez. Back when there was money in music. Oh my God.
Right. Back when music was music, you know what I'm saying, bro? They rented a house for them to live in. And according to, or as the story goes, the atmosphere was, quote, like a constant party, inviting girls over and smoking weed and drinking all through the night. The record label wanted to strangle us, end quote. So I think they're having a good time. I think they're like, cool, we're in. We're famous now. Let's get after it. So musically, like I said, emo, screamo was also thrown around. Basically, nobody knows or cares or whatever. Buddy Nielsen, he screams a little bit and sings a little bit on the album. Obviously, like we talk about on the show, some of the good songs are just pop songs anyway with a different set of clothes on. All the songs were written by the band with the lyrics written by Buddy, the front man. Now, I might have the year wrong here, but 2003, 2004, I forget, correct me if I'm wrong here, Tom. But anyway, they would actually film the video that we're about to talk about on the set of Guiding Light, an actual daytime drama, soap opera. Thoughts on that real quick? Did you expect that to be the case? Because it looks so good. I guess I kind of didn't even think that they might have, I guess if you're in the entertainment industry, that's a pretty easy call to make, but I was pretty floored to read that. I was like, oh, hell yes. I don't know.
Well, I had never heard of Guiding Light, and I thought okay, if this little emo band is on the set, it must be some little no-name show. No, it's like the biggest soap opera that's ever existed.
So, I hadn't thought about this when putting the notes together. Getting them a house to live in while they record and going on Guiding Light for the breakout single, music video, etc. They were pretty pumped about Senses Fail, it sounds like. Drive-Thru was.
Yeah.
That's not a small amount of effort because we have definitely seen less effort in episodes of this show.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, back then there was probably more money in music and music videos. And right now, I mean, streaming, I don't know. The industry's different. So a no-name band who, just did well in their local VFW, you have execs flying to come meet them and renting them a house. First of all, what do they expect to happen in that house? Like, come on, man.
Also, I like the idea of like that email chain, like which VFW, like you just give them the number and then that like, oh, it's this chapter.
234. Right?
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. I thought it was 233. I went to a different borough.
God, I would do anything to be at a VFW, man.
Indeed. Anyway, okay. So, it was released eventually through Vagrant Records. Buried Alive music video aired on Fuse's Oven Fresh program.
Oh, I kind of remember that.
It was fresh.
I only saw it at Adam's house, which is, right on brand with him.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah, you had the AOL session channel wherever somehow on your computer, and Adam was a Fuse boy for sure. And we thank him for it. Adam always had the best t-shirts as well. He had the Mike Surfer Singing Up for Swinging t-shirts and stuff. He was just a little more in tune to kind of probably emo and the everything. Like he was just more in tune with everything. I think he showed me like, this is the most like suburban white kid comment ever, but like my first Quentin Tarantino movie and stuff. He's like, oh, you got to watch Pulp Fiction, dude.
Well, he had like a cool older sister,
That's true.
Well, I guess
we both had older sisters too.
We did. Sorry, Caitlin, you weren't that cool. No, she introduced me to Taylor Swift. Not Census Fail.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Anyway, they were on Fuse. It was definitely that time for that to be happening. Good for Census Fail. And then they toured like absolute maniacs for the next like 2.5 years. Did a couple Warped Tours. They supported Rufio. They supported MCR. They supported Silverstein from Autumn to Ashes. After that second Warped Tour, they did a little bit of touring with Saves the Day and the Early November. Just a few of the names. They really took this record and just literally ran with it from town to town for like a 2 to 3 year period. But at this point, they were with Vagrant, not Drive Thru.
Okay, gotcha. Which Vagrant, I had never really heard of them, but they still have some pretty big names. I think the 1975 is signed with them right now. They've got some pretty big bands. Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it's like, okay, send the song to the radio, send the music video to Fuse. Now come back in 3 years. I don't know, kind of energy. Anyway, good for them. But they were on to something, obviously, and I'm very excited now to switch gears, if you don't mind, and discuss the music video, which might be my favorite we've ever done on the show. I think I might have to say that.
It's so good. It
is so good. I thought I kind of expected you to say, hold on, what about this one? But it's really fucking good. I would say this. We like the music videos that are a story, but credit to Census Fail for just kind of like writing a song that was a story that lent itself to a really good music video story. They were just like, hey, what if we just made it what the song is? I don't know. Thoughts on the song real quick before maybe we dive in? Like, I know we joked like, let's play Dr. Babe as the chorus, but it's a pretty interesting little tale. Any reaction to kind of retroactively, I don't know, as a teen, how would you have reacted maybe? Or what's your thoughts on kind of the story they tell in the song?
As a teen, I wouldn't have listened to the lyrics at all. But
that's true. After a few couple hundred episodes, I should know not to ask you that question. But still, I'm going to ask it.
I think it's surprising for usually bands like this. They're more like artistic with, not to say these are bad lyrics. They're not, but it's very linear story. And I feel like linear stories are more for like country music. And it's surprising, I guess, to hear something that's just a straight up story in real time coming through the lyrics. And I wonder if they, because of the way the music video ties into it, did they have that in mind? Like, kind of, where was the head when they were writing this? What was the inspiration? I find it interesting that it's well written, but not as poetic as maybe some of the 2 other songs that I know, but other similar things in the genre.
Okay, so Jesse and I watched that movie 9 to 5. That's basically just the movie version of the song 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. But I was thinking about songs like 9 to 5 and On the Road Again by Willie Nelson. And just like, okay, this is a song about being on the road and the verses will support that and the chorus will support that. This is the story we're telling. It's very straightforward. Yeah. I like how you said kind of the poetic like emo thing where, at least for our era and probably throughout, but like Taking Back Sunday, Motion City, or My Chemical Romance. Just kind of these very flowy, artsy. There's not like, oh, this song's about working from 9 to 5 and the boss man, this and that. It's like, there's kind of a girl in a coffin, but there's kind of my own shit going on as well. And there's no real like story. What was interesting to me is that this is like a pretty straightforward songwriting story they're telling, where they go to the graveyard, dig up this girl's body. He needs to find, like, I don't know. It's almost, I love how it's almost like a little like, I'm sure there are plenty of examples, and tweet at us at _reminiscent FM if that's the case. But it was kind of refreshing just to be like, hey, this is like a songwritten song in like a sing-songy, Willie Nelson-y, Dolly Parton kind of way, which means nothing. And the point I'm trying to make, I'm really stretching a lot here. But there's no loosey-goosey like Adam Lazar talking about poetry on napkins, but then like talking about something else in the next two verses. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, the goal is to find out who killed this person.
Right. It's just,
and I'm excited to hang out till the end to see what happens next. And especially in the music video, it's like, I guess we should just get into it. Should we just get into it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just excited, Tom. There's a guy with a mustache. There's cops that just hand him handcuffs at some point to be like, okay, you guys go solve it. I don't know. It's so campy
it's amazing.
And delightful. It really is so fucking amazing.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the episode, but please allow me just a minute to shout out our Council of Elders. These are our top tier Patreon supporters. In this group, we have Andre Prevost, Johnny Leftwich, Jason Carey, Anonymous, Chris Lukey, J.W. Johnson, and Nathan Eshelman. Thank you all so much for being in our Council of Elders. It truly means the world, and thank you to everyone who is a part of our Patreon group. There's lots of stuff going on in there, behind the scenes, photos and videos, a post show every week, some details as to what we're working towards in the future, and all different kinds of bonus content. If you'd like to check it out, you can head to patreon.com/reminiscent. But let's get back to the episode.
Okay. So they open up, they're on like this Ed Sullivan show type performance. They have khakis, white button downs, and black ties, all of them.
Real skinny ties.
Real skinny. Thoughts on this being like kind of a emo kid homecoming attire of sorts? Like you do own khakis and a tie, but like nothing about the rest of you is going to be cleaned up at all. You're just wearing that uniform. They still have the lip rings, like the sleeves are still on their arms, tattoo sleeves that is. They just kind of have their hair gelled back, but like they're so visibly a 2000s emo act, even playing this Ed Sullivan part. I don't know. There's something that kind of tickled me about that.
Yeah, I love it when bands do the thing where they try to dress up like they're not little punk kids, but they have full sleeves and neck tattoos and shit, and it just totally breaks the facade. It's delightful. But also, I mean, having something about like a white button down, it's the skinny black tie that still is like kind of emo, kind of punk to me anyways. Like I remember when I was in like a sophomore in high school and I like really wanted to dress like whatever 2006 emo punk would be. And it was like, oh, you have to wear all black, like the black shirt, the black tie, the black pants. But it's almost like that's too like self-aware. So it's almost like you look more, I don't know, punk or whatever if you're wearing like a white shirt, because it's like the opposite of what like the stereotype would be. I think they still look pretty in the genre in what they're wearing, but maybe it's just because of the neck tattoos and the full sleeves and whatnot. But
yeah, thoughts real quick. Or actually, you know what? You mentioned the guy who used to come into your coffee shop in DC all the time wearing, you know, the type of guy who had knitted ties and stuff like that. When you get into regular tie use, that's a different guy, like a new guy just dropped type energy. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Which, by the way, Melissa, if you're listening, the guy with the knit ties is the one who was talking about advertising on Twitter the other day when you guys had a back and forth. Just to give some context to that.
Gotcha.
I don't know if anyone else saw that, but yeah, something kind of weird happened on my Twitter the other day.
Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Well, I was thinking about the time the really preppy dudes in our high school dressed up like Green Day from American Idiot with the ties. I don't know. There's something about a well-kept, like a snappy dressed emo kid that existed but was pretty rare, I guess. I guess that's what I'm dancing around. But
snappy dressed emo kid.
That's a tough needle to thread, being a snappy dressing scene kid. Generally, I think we were a little more unkempt, perhaps. I think
probably. Yeah, not cool enough
anyway.
to. Yeah.
they're on the set of Guiding Lights, and they start singing, and they start swinging the fucking mic. And I was taken aback by that. And I just want to talk about this a little bit, I guess. Mic swinging. We talk about Adam having that t-shirt, mics are for singing, not for swinging, the brand new Taking Back Sunday beef. And then I kind of just Googled it loosely. Roger Daltrey of The Who has swung a mic or two in his day. So I don't think we're allowed to say like Adam Lazzara owns the stage move, but his name's got to be mentioned when the move is discussed, right? Like, at what level are we allowed to attribute that to Adam Lazzara, I guess?
I mean,
or are we just Taking Back Sunday biased?
He owns it in our world. Like, it's okay to have multiple universes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So for an album that has so many parallels to Tell All Your Friends, for the band to come out in the lead video off that album and swing the mic, I guess, what do you have to say for yourself, Census Fail fans? I don't know. Like, I'm not upset. I'm just wowed, I guess, because generally, it seemed like all the other bands that we talk about on the show until now have been like okay with letting Taking Back Sunday kind of have that. Am I way off base here, or I just want to like if you'll indulge me as we kind of talk through this for a minute?
I mean, I don't. It's hard to say no one else can swing a mic without seeming like Taking Back Sunday, but I specifically remember a frontman in one of our local bands when we were in high school. This was like at the height of Taking Back Sunday. Louder Now probably just came out. And he would kind of just seemed like he studied Adam Lazzara videos and just tried to recreate them during his own band set. And it was always a little bit like, guy, what are you doing? Like, everyone can see through what's going on stage here. I don't get that much of that vibe from Census Fail. Like, he's doing enough other stuff that it's like, okay, I could see when he's thrashing around why he'd also want to swing the mic. He's not just trying to helicopter that shit as much as possible like some other acts I've seen.
We had been watching and talking about the great romances of the 20th century music video a few days ago, just in conversation, not on the show. And it felt like such a statement, the way he has the jeans that have come up above the ankle a little bit with the socks and the polo and the short bleached hair and everything. And he's swinging that fucking thing. And that's like a statement is being made. And it, honestly, I would want to go that as him in that video for Halloween forever, pretty much. I don't know. I'm just like, damn, has anybody been in their element more than Adam Lazzara is in his element in the music video for Great Romances of the 20th Century? But I kind of found myself agreeing with you that Buddy here is doing just a ton to like catch the attention of maybe a studio exec that came to the show and was checking him out. Like, he swings it for a second, but he's thrashing, screaming. He's got the lip ring right in the middle of the center, right in the middle of his lower lip. Thoughts real quick on a lower lip, middle lip ring?
I usually don't like it, but Travis Barker pulled it off, so like I give it a pass, but typically I don't like it.
You are, okay. You are our resident tattoo and piercing consultant, so I had to check in. But I think he's definitely working every angle to be an emo kid doing it. And I don't think he's indulging in the mic swinging enough for it to be like egregious, but I did want to check in on it just because, like, again, I think others than Adam Lazzara in the history of rock and roll have done it. But I was a little shocked to see it. I'll admit, I was a little shocked.
But I like it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything about this video works. So yeah, I think the ruling here is like, we'll allow it full on, full send, full stop. Yeah. Okay. Then we hit the headline. Okay, enough performing. Let's get to the story. Headline, all caps, local band arrested in girl's death. Cut to them in a jail cell reading that newspaper. They're all in orange jumpsuits. Drama. Immediate drama, Tom. And I'm here for it from the jump. Like, captivated. Again, we did not come into this episode as like huge Census Fail fans, but we're like, honestly, I don't give a about the mic swinging. This is incredible from start to finish. They're in the jail cell. I'm in. What happened to this girl? Because I know it wasn't them, you know. Anyway.
Right. I mean, everything right out of the gate. The whole band is arrested, and it's not even like members of the band. It's just the band. The entity itself
band,
is arrested.
Which is like the way a scene would, or like a band would acknowledge it. So like, we are a local band. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like the local newspaper. Yeah, like they're not even a famous band. They're just like a local scene act. Arrested girls. Like, the paper is even kind of aware of scene terminology to a certain degree.
And it seems like they are becoming aware of this as they read the article in jail. They're
Yeah,
like,
they're like,
hey,
wait,
how
they're
did
framing
we
us
get
for this?
here?
Zoom out, they're in the jumpsuits.
Just, yeah, goofy, so goofy right out of the gate, which
Yeah.
already I'm kind of thrown off because it's like, you know, when you think of a band being so emotional and so like intense like this, I wouldn't also equate that to like being self-aware of what your lyrics
Yes.
are saying and then just doing the opposite visually. You know?
Yes, I feel like there's so many fucking warehouse music videos where there's like crows flying in from the distance and shit. It's just like mystical and evanescence-y, and Evanescence owns it and is great. I'm not saying they were bad, but kind of like, hey, let's just have it be generally shadowy and you guys will be visibly emotional. It's like, no, how about we be very fucking colorful and campy and just do the story of the song in a very self-aware and fucking genius, hilarious way.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the second they do. Anyway, they throw the fucking newspaper down and just leave the jail. Hey, we got to do something about this. And they do.
They change their clothes and leave.
Yeah. And it's so on the beat with I went to the grave and dug up your body. They're there. There's a fucking tombstone that says R.I.P. the girlfriend. Which is just incredible. I think we're going to have to whip out the angstometer for some of these. Rest in peace, girl is like one of the first few words you hear in the song. Where are we at on the angstometer for this, Tom? In terms of like 2000s emo, does it get much angstier and emo-y? Like this is in the wheelhouse. I think that's what I'm trying to say, but why don't you give us an angstometer grade out of 10?
I think there's something funny about the girl. Like it makes it seem so casual. Rest in peace, girl. But
Yeah, like he's still flirting with her.
hey, girl. Like,
Hey, girl, rest in peace.
but it's pretty high up there. I mean, we're at like maybe a 6. Dude, all I can think about.
Hey,
Is you-
I know you're resting in peace and everything, but like, can I get your number?
I think of you doing the face, the boy face with like. You do it too well, man. It's disgusting.
Well, it reminds me of the SNL cast member Chloe's take on Timothée Chalamet or whatever, where she's just like, oh, no. Just, I don't know, the ultimate boy energy. Anyway, yeah, rest in peace, girl. So they literally dig up the body, still pretty fresh, clothes are really clean. Shout out to the people who prepped her, the mortician, I guess. And they go to like, not even really a convincing hospital. Talk to me about like the operation scene, just a little.
Yeah, there's like a table surrounded by like curtains on, I don't know,
it's just like
lamp poles.
a portion of the set that they're using.
Yeah.
Like, I guess any daytime television might. And I guess you have curtains in a hospital room, but like it's concrete floors
there's
just
walls.
off of where the... Yeah, she's like, hey, let's just close off a bit. We'll have someone dressed like a nurse. So over the top, very nursey nurse, very like scrubby matching for the rest of the band. And incisions must be made, I think is really where we're at here. But it's so low budget and so colorful. I think it's like, I guess I hadn't seen an episode of daytime television since being sick as a child in middle school maybe, but to be so low budget but so like committing to the bit is honestly very admirable and amazing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Just like, oh no, this is an operation scene. Like what would make you think otherwise other than everything about it?
It makes me wonder if this is like a low budget first take at a band's music video and they nail it as well as the longest running soap opera in existence. How easy is it to make a soap opera? I mean, all you have to do is keep zooming in, keep that camera moving.
Yeah. Shout out to, I guess, the Friends reunion where the character Joey, the smell the fart acting, where they just respond to something in a way as if they just smelled a fart. Anyway, that's pretty much what the band members do once they find the poison in the body, presumably.
Yeah.
They all go like, oh, and the last one faints really like cartoonishly. And then even more cartoonishly, the nurse hands like a film canister full of film with just the word evidence on it to Buddy, the lead singer, and he just grabs it and he's like, cool, we got what we came for. We have incisions were made and we have the canister of evidence to present to the local authorities. Great matching scrubs. Shout out to Guiding Light, just in general, for the whole energy of every scene so far and the ones that are to come. You questioned if this was fart punky. I just thought it was committing to the daytime TV thing a little.
I think it maybe just not everything that's humorous in a video needs to be fart punky necessarily, but I think there's a little bit of reaching into that genre. Don't you think? I mean, like the
I think
it's like
the parallels would be young men who are not trained actors acting is definitely similar to what some of the fart punk videos are. I think what we've kind of established over time is that the most fart punky videos actually include someone shitting in a toilet. So like, I think I'm going to attribute this, again, similar to the mic swinging, I'm going to forgive it and just say it's them trying to do what this is really well.
Gotcha.
And
sure. I'll allow it.
They did everything except, not to spoil anything, but everything except splash a glass of wine in somebody's face. Like they really, it's like, oh, I can't believe it. I guess, does that imply that that band member thought that the lead singer did commit the crime? Because he's like shocked. In theory, his buddies would have all expected to see poison in the system and that it was not their fault.
Huh. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he lacked a little faith. He's like, oh my God, it's true.
What's so funny to me is if poison was in someone's veins, what could you visibly see that would let you know it's poison, and what did they actually collect for evidence?
What would be really jarring is to find a canister labeled evidence in the cadaver. Maybe that's what made him faint. He had faith all along. He just was like, this is a little whoa, you know? Because I mean, in theory, whoever dressed this lady up for the funeral, etc., and put them near the tombstone reading the girlfriend, they would have drained the blood and put, formaldehyde and all that stuff. Oh, so really, God. You're not testing thing. Maybe they were working off of an anonymous tip that a canister labeled evidence was inside the person. And I would faint too. That's a jarring thing to find. So I'm going to say the band member was just not expecting that to be real because of how insane it sounded. But they found it and they cleaned it off. Must have been in a plastic bag or something because it came out without any blood or guts on it. It's just like, oh, there's the canister. Squeaky clean. Let's take this downtown. And take it downtown, they do, Tom. They head down to the police station as the lyrics talking about how it's not a suicide, it's a crime. They're showing the evidence. And then Buddy does this, it's a neat little music video thing where he pulls down a projector screen a little bit and it cuts to kind of a dream sequency, cutscene, flashback. You want to walk us through what happens next?
Yeah, I mean, it just it shows, I'm assuming this is him telling the police what he thinks actually happened. We've got like a porn stash man with half a buttoned shirt.
Yes, just a delightful costuming choice all around for this man.
They really, at first I thought they were showing the pinky ring, like there was some significance there. But
I thought the poison was going to be in the pinky ring.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been cool.
Even more cartoonishly. It's in a vial that's in his shirt pocket.
And he puts it in the girl's wine. I think they cheers. She takes a sip and then her eyes cross and she faints. She's dead.
Oh, they cross. Shout out to the actress. She's like, what? What's this? Precisely. Anyway, the guy, man. Dastardly mustachioed man. He almost got away with it too, but the boys are hot on the case. They cut back to the police station, and the police are like, well, that sounds good enough to me. Here's some handcuffs. You see what you can do. It's like they deputize him on the spot, and then they accept it without question and just run out of the police station.
Just give him the handcuffs. Yeah. So funny. My God. Yeah.
And they have a hunch because they go right to that dude's house.
Well, yeah, they go right to his house. They run in like some fucking Scooby-Doo characters.
Honestly, it would not have shocked me if they pulled a mask off of this man. The mustachioed face comes ripping off.
And it was the doctor all along. Okay, so what do they do with the guy? or they pull it out of his.
Basically,
It's still in his shirt pocket. They just walk in.
yeah, I know. It's like later that day, kind of, I guess we're led to believe, unless this man changes very rarely.
You don't get a body prepped and buried that quickly. That takes weeks.
Saying.
That takes weeks.
I'm just saying, poking holes, senses fail. We're poking holes. But they show up and he's like, they make the accusation and, there's kind of like no, it couldn't have been me. And he's like, well, what about this? And he pulls the vial out of the front pocket. The vial's just still on his person.
Still there.
Yes. And then the rest of the band just kind of like, they all grab his arms and secure him. And he's like, no. And I don't want to speed past the fact that they just grab the vial out of his shirt. It's like, oh, you deny it, huh? Well, what about this? It's the best. It's the best. It's the best thing.
Oh my God.
That's ever happened in a music video that played on Fuse. I feel confident saying that. Anyway, he ends up in jail with the orange jumpsuit. I guess really, we're not done quite yet. We're almost done. But, actually, I almost forgot. There's a very important emo staple that comes next. They pull the vial out. The bandmates drag him away. And Buddy spends some time looking at a Polaroid, which I want to talk real quick about the emo staple of letters and pictures, Polaroids, being burned, put face down on tables, being ripped apart. There's a lot of like print media being dealt with in emo songs that you just don't see anymore, Tom.
I've honestly been thinking about that a lot because like there's a lot of very important pictures of my dogs, my family, all these things I love just existing on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. What if all that shit just goes away? Should I be printing these out? Should I have drawers full of print media at home to look upon in my later years? I would like to see more letters written, more photos printed. I think we need to go back to that.
Yeah, I will say, I think you and I have taken turns jumping off social media back and forth here and there. I did lose a fair amount of photos of me from a specific period of time when that happened. And I didn't think about it at the time, but yeah, I think you're right. There's
I had
something to be said for a shoebox full of printed pictures underneath your bed or something, I would say.
I had like 8 years of photos on an old iPhone, and I like went in to get my phone fixed. The speaker was broken, and they're like, we can give you a new phone now if you want. And I was like, sure. Will all my stuff transfer? And they're like, well, is it backed up to the iCloud or to iCloud? I was like, I'm not sure. Can I check? And he's like, well, even if you wanted to do it now, it would take so long to back everything up that like, it wouldn't even like, we wouldn't have time to get you the new phone then. So like, do you want the new phone or not? And I was just like, sure. So they gave me the new phone, wiped every photo I've ever taken, just gone forever. And like, brutal. I still think about photos I wish I had, and that fucking kills me. I mean, I have all of my files backed up in 3 different places now, so that theoretically should never happen again. But that still hurts, man. Like,
as a digital hoarder, I feel for you.
It hurts. I mean,
and I don't even say that with any venom anymore. I just know you like your memories. You're a man who likes your memories, and I can only imagine.
Yeah, more print media, but like it's too damn expensive. I don't know. Whatever.
It's a power move to pull a Polaroid out of your shirt, stare at it, and say, "I did it. I did. Rest in peace, babe. I did it all for you." And then drink yourself to death for the next 30 years when the girl doesn't come back alive, but you found justice, but maybe you're haunted by something else. Who's to say?
Jesus.
We'll see you again for Buried Alive 2. The search for more angst.
But what we get here, the video closes out. Mustache Man is in jail, and he has the grumpiest looking face.
He's not thrilled with how this played out.
And it like zooms in 3 times. It has like 3 cuts from the same angle, which is so funny to me. And I thought it was almost like a bad edit or something. But then it jumps to just like a static shot of the police giving a thumbs up, and it does it twice. And then it goes to the nurse giving a thumbs up, and it kind of jump cuts twice. And then what happens next?
The dead girl, the girlfriend, R.I.P. the girlfriend, is just like, thanks, everyone. I'm glad they deputized the people accused in this crime.
Right. They were the accused. They escaped jail and then went into a police station.
We should give you a chance to, find out what happened.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yes. Which, is very, yes, indeed.
It could.
But yeah. No, I don't think we're going to tiptoe over to any law discussions here, but yes, that is the case. Everyone who, I would be surprised if anyone came to this thinking I hope they get into the legality of all this stuff, because that's what we come to this show for. Anyway, okay. Quick thought before the Ed Sullivan Show performance ends. They walk up the stage, but real quick, thoughts on one of the guitarists has a very angular, kind of metal-y guitar. Thoughts on dudes that didn't just have that Gibson SG that were in the bands.
Right. Yeah. It's like the Dimebag Daryl. I forget what the actual shape is called, but pretty metal, dude. Pretty cheesy hair metal. But a couple bands in the scene had it, and I thought it was dope.
I kind of like it.
Would you prefer a Flying V or that guitar if you had to pick one?
Good question.
Because the Flying V is
I don't think I could pull off a Flying V.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where my buddy CJ in junior high basketball did something weird with his hair where he had a bunch of little tiny ponytails up in little rubber bands, and it looked like, I don't know, he looked like that horror character with a bunch of needles in his head or whatever. Basically, and his dad was the coach and was like, you have to play well now. You realize you can't just look like that and not deliver.
Right.
And it was just kind of a weirdly personal, mean thing to say in front of the whole team, I thought. But the Flying V guitar, I feel similarly, where it's if you bring that, you better bring the thunder a little bit.
Yeah,
and earn it almost. And that is to say that I could not. So I would hide behind the other angular guitar if only choosing between the two. Only because I can't pull off the V.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
How about this? Flying V or the guitar Kyle Gass plays in Tenacious D, the movie, where it's two necks that meet in the middle.
Oh,
and
right.
it's painted to mimic a woman's legs.
I've never seen Pick of Destiny, dude.
Oh my God. It's over.
I know.
The episode's over.
I know. It's on my list. It's very high on my list.
Play the guitar you want, but realize that thunder has to be brought. And dare I say that it was here in the Buried Alive music video.
Oh, yeah.
By Boys and Senses Fail. Any closing thoughts? And I feel like we might have rushed this. I don't know. We always feel, we haven't been back on the horse for a while. But I really, really, really loved and enjoyed watching this and kind of having a little bit of an introduction across the mosh pit to a different portion of the scene here for a week.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes me want to explore their albums more. Again, I only had those 3 songs. I love them a lot, though. I think at the time I was even aware that it's man, this is very angsty. I don't know if I need all this right now, but it's almost comforting to know that, okay, these guys have a sense of humor. They're not taking it too seriously. I don't know. It's nice to know that they're just making art, having fun. And it makes me really want to listen to them more. I don't know. We're all just here doing shit we love, having fun. I'm into it. I loved it. I thought it was, a really fun video to watch. It's surprising how well the soap opera was executed. I wonder,
good.
I guess I didn't look at the director or who DP or anything was in this, but they got the shots perfectly. So much zooming, just sweeping all around the scene. Over the
tone,
top
the softness. It was a slice of daytime TV. Flawlessly executed.
Yeah. I don't want to make too many comments on daytime TV.
Well, I thought the episode was going to be ruled by me saying the parallels between this album and Tell All Your Friends. I thought I was going to get on a tangent, but really I didn't want us leaving with that taste in our mouths because I don't think you can really put them in that box. I think it would be wildly unfair, especially watching this video. It's oh, okay, there are parallels to what everyone was doing in the scene at the time, so why penalize them for doing something really great and unique? I think it would have been very unfair so I kind of was worried I was going to kind of subconsciously do that, but I'm glad we didn't. I hope we didn't. Tweet at us if we did and yell at us, please, because this music video is fucking great. And honestly, I listened to the album a couple times in preparation for the show. It could have been our favorite album super easily. Just missed it. We could have been Thursday dudes, and I think we learned today that we very easily could have been Census Fail dudes. I did not have to be that other 7th grader at the football game. It could have just been me also. Equal opportunity emo is what we're all about here at the show. And I think those are kind of my closing thoughts for the week.
No, that's great, man. Let's wrap it there. Do you want to give us a song of the week?
Wrap it. Yeah, I do. And Gami Gang has come out in the time that we've been away from the show.
My God.
Well, you were becoming a pop, which I couldn't be more thrilled for you, by the way. Very exciting, very awesome. But it is fun to be doing the show again. Know You, I think, is my favorite song on the album.
Oh, it's so good.
Right now. It's very good.
Oh,
and it has the
God.
best slice of audio at the end with the Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, yeah.
Being a man of science is a heavy burden. He's like, I know what you mean, Jimmy. That's why, ruining his mind with highly scientific mind with cartoons and sugar. Just like, yeah. They have Malcolm in the Middle on there. They have the Star Wars episodes 1 through 3. This is where the fun begins. I don't know. Everything about it is very made for you and I to enjoy this album, I feel like. So,
dude, it's insane. I mean, again,
we did enjoy it. That's exactly how that shit went down.
I can't believe they put out a double LP with not a second to breathe anywhere in that thing.
No.
It is all killer, no filler. Dude.
Noodling, for reals. Noodling until their fucking fingers fall off. There's no breaths taken really at all.
It's insane. Speaking of bands we could have loved more than anything and just missed the boat, Bitter by Chunk No Captain Chunk. This is a band that I've heard, I listened to in Friends We Trust, but since it was such a meme, it was kind of I don't know. The production wasn't great. The voice was a little, I don't know. It wasn't all there were some good pieces there, but it wasn't all there for me. So for some reason, I just never really paid attention. But then, dude, the YouTube algorithm is honestly doing it for me lately. It is pushing me to some good stuff. But it was hey, this song Bitter by Chunk No Captain Chunk came out. You want to listen? I had nothing else going on, so I gave it a spin. And similarly to how you handled King for a Day by not Sleeping with Sirens, that's the, help me out here, Pat. What's the fucking
King
band
for
name?
a Day by
Pierce the Veil.
Vic Fuentes and featuring Kellen Quinn. They're in the bank. There's Pierce the Veil. Sometimes you pierce the veil, sometimes the veil pierces you, as they say. As nobody says.
I have watched this music video easily 10 times a day since it came out weeks ago. I am obsessed with it. I think it might be the second best song ever recorded.
When I first met you, I used to think you were lying when you would say those types of numbers, but now I know you're only reporting facts, and I worry about your delegation of time as a small business owner. But I know you're handling your biz, so...
No, man, but seriously, I was I would be editing an episode and then take a break to watch the video, and I'll watch it one more time. Then I'll edit for another 3 minutes. Damn, I need to watch that video again. Just
disappointingly good, infuriatingly good.
The song is so fucking good. I'm researching baritone guitars now because I want to be able to play in drop A sharp.
As one does.
I'm obsessed. And it seems I reached out to the producer of this album being hey, can we interview you on the show? Turns out the producer of this album is the singer of the fucking band. So we might get the singer of Chunk No Captain Chunk on the show. Probably July is kind of what we're hoping for. We've been talking a little bit. So that's fun. Didn't know I was emailing the singer of Chunk No Captain Chunk, but here we are.
Here we are.
So that should be
Sending
fun.
emails.
Yep. Getting replies suspiciously fast. Are you busy enough? But I don't know. Super excited. But let's head to the post show because
let's do it.
A couple weeks ago, we kind of, I don't know, maybe you don't want to do this, but we mentioned the golf course we broke into.
And we were going to record an episode, I thought, called the Wet Hot Dashboard or Wet Hot Death Cab Summer. I wasn't sure. Let's talk about it in the post show, how we want to handle the next few weeks, because there's a bunch of post baby content that people on Twitter, and if you follow us, you have talked about. Let's talk about where we're at with the show and where we're going to take it over the next few weeks.
Awesome. Let's do it. See you then.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Love you.
Yep. Love you all. Bye. Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode. We truly appreciate each and every single one of you. Now that Pat has brought it up, I can't fathom why more emo and screamo bands haven't done a daytime drama stylized music video. It makes perfect sense. Stick around next week for an incredible interview with music video director of Paramore, Panic at the Disco, and Fall Out Boy, Shane Drake. We're so stoked. We'll talk to you next week. Love you. Bye, everyone.